Hello guys, how are you? I'm Hardeep Singh. Welcome back to your own YouTube channel. IELTS updates and recent exams. For more updates related to recent IELTS exam writing test topics, listening, reading, practice test, and speaking, you got guesswork. Please guys participate in everyday listening and reading practice test to achieve your desired band score in your actual IELTS exam. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Press the bell icon for the upcoming notifications. Don't forget like, subscribe and share my YouTube channel and my Facebook page, IELTS updates and recent exams.
Part 1.
You will hear a conversation between a hotel receptionist and a woman who wants to make a reservation. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5.
Good morning. Welcome to the Horizon Hotel. How may I help you?
I've come in to make a reservation for a friend.
And your friend's name is?
Mackay, Sandra Mackay. That's M-A-C-K-A-Y.
Thank you. When is she arriving?
She's flying in on the 15th, but she'll stay with me for the first night because we have an early start on the 16th. We're going for a quick trip to the coast, but we should be back on the 18th.
So that's the 18th of this month?
No, sorry, did I forget to say? It's next month, December.
Well, that's getting pretty close to Christmas, but we may have something available. Right, we have 1 or 2 nice rooms left. But how long will she stay for?
A week.
So she'd be checking out on Christmas Day, the 25th.
Is that a problem?
Well, it depends. We don't have a room available for the whole week, but if she didn't mind changing rooms midway through her stay, we could work something out.
Oh, I see.
And if she wanted to extend her stay, that wouldn't be possible, I'm afraid. We're completely booked out from Christmas Day through to New Year.
No, she won't want to extend, and I don't think she'd have a problem with changing rooms.
Good. Well, I'll put her in room 502 to start with, and then she'll have to move to 805. No, just a minute. Let's make that 702, because that's available, and it's 2 floors directly above 502, so the room layout will be identical.
How much will it cost per night?
The basic room rate is $165.
Is breakfast included?
No, but a complimentary drink is served every evening at 5 o'clock.
Oh, that could be quite nice.
Shall we make the booking then? We will require a deposit equivalent to 1 night's stay.
That's fine. I can pay the deposit.
How would you like to do that? In cash or by credit card?
Credit card, I suppose. Oh, wait a minute. I might have enough money in my purse. Yes, let's do it in cash.
Hang on, I'll just make a note of that. Deposit paid, in cash.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 6 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 6 to 10.
Just a second while I print a receipt. Who shall I make it out to?
My name is Zoe Reed, R-E-E-D.
Thank you, Miss Reed. Now I'll need some contact details for either you or Ms. Mackay.
I'll give you my details. I only live on the other side of town.
Can I have your address and phone number, please?
I live at 14 South Street, Morningtown, and my phone number is 439-4829.
Thank you. 439-4829.
Yes, that's right.
Now I'll just print the booking form. If you have any questions or need to make any changes, just quote the reservation number on the bottom of the form. That's it there. AQ459.
Thanks very much. Oh, before I go, just a couple of questions. What time does the room get cleaned? I'm only asking because my friend usually has a short nap after lunch and she wouldn't like to be disturbed.
Well, the maids are usually finished by 1 p.m. because we have a 2 o'clock check-in time, you see. They come on duty quite early in the morning, so they are sure to be finished in your friend's room by lunchtime. Yes, definitely. I'd say roughly 11 o'clock.
Thanks. That's good to know. One more thing. Is there room service for meals?
Only for breakfast and dinner. Breakfast service finishes at 9 and starts at 5 a.m. Dinner service starts at 6 p.m., but the last orders have to be in half an hour before the kitchen closes at 11 p.m. So full room service closes at 10:30. But remember, light snacks, things like toasted sandwiches or muffins, can be ordered at the bar just off the lobby throughout the day and evening until 2 in the morning.
Thanks very much. You've been most helpful.
That is the end of part 1.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to part 2.
You will hear a radio announcer introducing what's on at the local arts centre. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 16. Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 16.
Hello, and thanks for joining me on the art scene tonight, brought to you by your local radio station 2ZG, and made possible by the generous sponsorship of Bertrand's Music and Video Store. Firstly, I want to announce that the refurbished Arts Centre downtown is opening soon, with some spectacular visual art displays and performances that you won't want to miss. In Gallery 1, the Arts Centre will be hosting an extraordinary exhibition of the latest creative works of our regional artists. There'll be landscapes, abstracts, photography, ceramics and sculpture. The exhibition opens on the 4th of March and runs through to the 10th of April. It's free and open to the public from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. weekdays, and, by the way, all works on display are for sale, so be sure to bring your credit card with you. Gallery 2 will put on the annual showcase of the art of school students who take a sometimes challenging and often emotive look at the current issues facing youth in particular and society in general. This is the Issues of the 21st Century exhibition, and the dates to keep in mind are 10th of March to the 4th of April. The gallery will be open from 10 till 3 Monday, Wednesday, Friday and weekends. There's no charge, but teachers should make bookings if they're bringing large groups. Let's move on to the performing arts now. Shakespeare season is back again, and this year's production is the ever-popular Romeo and Juliet. Tickets are just $40 for adults and half price for seniors, and there are rush tickets for students at $15. Performances are in Theatre 1 at 8 o'clock every evening. Bookings are essential. The show runs from the 5th of March to the 3rd of April, and there's a possibility of more shows if there's a high demand for tickets. Now, if you like your folk pop with a country twist, you must see Shannon Keel, who is back in town for one night only on the 1st of April, performing for us in the basement. She'll be supported by Ricky Bond's band, which has been touring with her for the last 7 weeks, and showtime is 9:15. Tickets are on sale at the door, just $12.50. Doors open at 8. Coming to the Arts Centre for 4 performances in the showroom is Class Act, a quartet who have captivated audiences with their amazing repertoire of classical music, and who now include top-class cabaret in their programme. They will give matinee performances every Friday in April at 11 o'clock. Tickets are only $14 a single, or better yet, why not get together with a group of 6 or more friends and pay only $12?
Before you hear the rest of the announcement, you have some time to look at questions 17 to 20. Now listen and answer questions 17 to 20.
Now, here's some exciting news. I've just heard that Michael O'Brien is going to perform at the Arts Centre next year, but we haven't got any dates finalised as yet. As you know, Michael is Ireland's most popular easy listening entertainer, and he's returning from a tour of Canada and the United States, where he has enjoyed huge success, even in Nashville, the home of country music. That's a long way from his Irish roots. Michael is without doubt a singing superstar. He has had 15 top 10 music videos and is almost a permanent feature in the UK album charts, with 18 UK chart albums to date. But he is still as excited and enthusiastic about his work and his fans as he was when he first launched his career 20 years ago. Perhaps some of you are unaware that Michael's first years were ones of struggle. The family was very poor and his father was forced to go abroad to provide for his family. He worked on farms in Scotland and it was very hard manual labour, very different from the lifestyle Michael enjoys today. Unfortunately, his father died when Michael was only 5 years old, and the burden of raising 5 children fell on his mother. Although Michael followed in the footsteps of his sister by pursuing a singing career, she was his role model and inspiration, he has attributed much of his success in life to his mother's influence, and he has dedicated his most recent DVD release to her. You can pick up a copy of that DVD, Unwavering Devotion, at Bertrand's Music and Video Store. Well, that's all from me. It's been nice talking to you. Tune in at the same time next week. Until then, good night and take care.
That is the end of part 2.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to part 3.
You will hear a conversation between a research student, Jeremy, and his supervisor. They are talking about the process of having a research project published in a journal. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 25. Listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 25.
So, you're nearly ready to submit your article to an academic journal, are you?
Yes, I think so. I just wanted to go over all the things I need to do before I submit it. And then I wanted to go over the submission process with you.
Great. So, firstly, you need to write an abstract. Make sure it's short and concise.
Of course. I forgot all about that. And what about key words?
Yes, a lot of students overlook this part and just jot down whatever comes to mind. But take some time to make a list of keywords that are accurate and relevant.
Okay. Another thing, could you have a look at my article before I submit it?
Absolutely. Actually, at least 2 senior staff members should always read through a final draft before submission. Do you mind if I give it to Professor Johnson to have a look at as well?
Not at all. I'd be glad to have the feedback.
Do you know which journal you want to submit to yet?
Not yet. I have a short list of about 3 that I'm interested in.
Make that decision soon, because you'll need to adjust your article so that it matches the style guide of the journal you are submitting to.
I bet that can take a while.
Yes, but after that you are just about ready to submit. One more thing, you'll have to sign the copyright form, just confirming that it's your own work, and then you're good to go.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 26 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 26 to 30.
Now, the submission process. How does it work exactly?
Well, the first thing is to just send it off. You've got to send in the manuscript before anything else can happen.
Sure. And then should I call to check if they have received it?
No need for that, no. All you have to do is just log on to your email regularly, because you will get a submission confirmation once they have processed the manuscript.
And that will have comments on what they thought of it?
No, no comments yet. That email is just to let you know they have received it. The next stage is what is known as peer review. This is when experts in the field review your manuscript and decide whether to accept it.
They'll never accept me. I'm only a master's student.
Don't worry about that, Jeremy. It's all done through a double-blind method. That means that whoever reads your manuscript has no idea whether you are a grad student or a Nobel Prize laureate. They'll only be judging your work, not you.
Well, that's good to hear. And then what, once they've made their decision?
Well, there are 4 possible outcomes. You might get an acceptance, but a first-off acceptance is very, very rare. Don't pin your hopes on it. You could also get a rejection, but these don't happen very often either. I don't think this will be a problem.
What do you think I'll get?
If you're very lucky, you'll get a conditional acceptance. This means that they've accepted the article and it will be published, but you need to tweak a few things first. A sentence here, a heading there, nothing major.
That sounds good.
But to be honest, you will probably end up with a revise and resubmit. This means they are definitely interested, but you will need to rework the paper before it's accepted. The necessary changes will be outlined by the reviewers.
Okay. So I just fix the things that need changing and present it again?
Yes, but include a cover letter that discusses the changes you have made. The same goes for a conditional acceptance, actually. It helps the reviewers see that you've taken their criticism seriously.
That is the end of part 3.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to Part 4.
You will hear a talk on the importance of soil in organic agriculture. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Welcome to this talk on soil science and organic farming. Dirt, soil, earth, loam, mud or dust, it doesn't matter what you call it, is of primary importance in the production of food and other crops. Most people think of it just as a substrate or medium in which plants grow, but it's more than that. It's actually a living entity. Or it should be if it's healthy, and human health is affected by the health of the soil. Healthy, living soil is literally crawling with life. There are the obvious earthworms, which burrow in the soil and help to aerate and improve it, beetles and other hard-backed insects, and various invertebrates like centipedes. Then there are fungi and bacteria, also living forms. Healthy soil needs food, air, and water to help plants grow. And the more nutrients in plants, the more available for humans and livestock. It stands to reason, therefore, that plants grown in poor soil will have few nutrients to pass on to the consumer, whose well-being will be worse off over the long term. So, where do plants get their nourishment? Most of it comes from the soil. Some nutrients are made up of minerals from the earth, while others come from dead plant and animal matter, which is broken down over time by the living insects and other organisms in the soil. Plants depend on these little living creatures to convert minerals and other vital elements into a utilizable form that can be taken up by the plants. And it's a synergistic relationship. In turn, the plants assist those helpful organisms by releasing sugars and enzymes back into the soil. Before I go any further, let's take a look at the structure of soil. Now, if you look at the diagram, you will see that soil is made up of many different layers. Let's start at the bottom. This is the bedrock under all the other layers. The layer above that is called regolith. Here, the bedrock is slightly broken up, but plant roots don't penetrate this layer. Moving up the chart to the next layer, we come to the subsoil, which contains clay and mineral deposits. On top of that is the alluviation or leaching layer. This is quite light in color and is mostly just sand and silt. As we get near the surface, we find the topsoil. You will hear a lot of talk about topsoil amongst farmers and other agriculturalists. It's the most important layer of all because it's where seeds germinate and roots grow. Now, at the top of the chart, you will see a comparatively thin layer. This is organic matter that is still in the process of decomposition. It mostly consists of leaf litter and humus. Just think of the surface of the forest floor, partly decayed leaves and twigs, that sort of thing. As you can imagine, good soil forms very slowly over time, but it can be lost very rapidly through erosion. And, in addition, soil quality can be affected by pollution due to anything from industrial waste to the artificial fertilizers used by conventional farmers, which have been shown to suppress the diverse life forms in the soil. This is why organic agriculture is the way of the future. Let's take a quick look at the conventional system, which is often based on monoculture, the production of a single large crop. It relies on chemicals for fertilizer and pest control. It is also becoming an increasingly common practice to use genetically engineered seeds. And more chemicals are used to control insects and fungi, which attack crops in storage and during transportation. Also, did you know that there is no requirement for conventional growers to maintain records of their production practices? Organic growers, on the other hand, choose the most environmentally friendly options for dealing with pests and disease problems, working towards prevention in the first place. Some of the strategies they employ include alternating the crops grown in each field, as opposed to monocropping. Because different plants add different nutrients to the soil, by rotating crops, the soil is naturally replenished. This can do away with the need for pesticides, because the problem insects' life cycles are naturally interrupted. Surrounding crops with green waste can not only conserve moisture in the soil, but it can prevent weeds from springing up, and it also feeds the beneficial microorganisms. When it's ploughed under, it feeds the soil by building more organic matter. Organic farmers often release beneficial insects as predators, which precludes the need for artificial pesticides. Animal manure, combined with green waste materials, correctly composted to kill pathogens and weed seeds, fertilizes the soil in a way that encourages life rather than suppressing it. And, by the way, use of manure in organic farming is highly regulated. In fact, all agricultural inputs are evaluated for their long-term effects on the environment, regardless of whether they are synthetic or natural. To sum up, organic farming is the only sustainable way of feeding the people on this planet and keeping both the planet and the people in good health.
That is the end of part 4.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
So guys, don't forget like, subscribe and share my YouTube channel and my Facebook page, IELTS updates and recent exams. For more updates related to recent IELTS exam writing test topics, listening, reading, practice test and speaking, you got guesswork. Please guys, participate in everyday new IELTS listening and reading practice tests to achieve your desired band score in your actual IELTS exam. For more IELTS material, visit my official website www.ieltsupdatesandrecentexams.com. The link is given below in the description. If you need PDF files of latest IELTS material, then please join my Telegram channel. So guys, please write your score below the comment section. Again, thanks for listening. God bless you all guys. Stay tuned, stay safe.